So, hello everybody. Welcome to my channel. This is Conceptual Corey, and today I'm going to be giving you guys a general idea of my process for kitbashing and coloring Retrograde Minis Lancer tokens in Clip Studio Paint. So today, this is hopefully going to be not too long. I know we all have things to do, so I don't want to keep you guys too much longer than I need to. So for reference, to get into this, you kind of just need the $1 subscription to Retrograde's Patreon, which I'll link to retrogrademinis.com and his Patreon in the description. But being a patron allows you to export any of the minis in these neat little zip folders, which then means that you can mix and match pieces a lot more easily. Or I'm sorry, being a $1 patron allows you to have transparent exports, but a $5 patron is full zip files. So I'm actually going to be making a funky little black witch today. I shouldn't be going too overboard with this, just to keep things somewhat sensible. Let's see. So as you can see, I have made zips of a lot of things. So for now, I can actually start working on this. So I am using Clip Studio Paint, as I have mentioned. I have a Wacom Intuos Pro tablet that I use, but that is under no circumstances required. The roommate's cat is going about and causing problems, but that's to be expected. So what I'm doing now is this little icon over here with the circle and the square is a layer mask. And when I create a layer mask, you'll see that it creates this little white thumbnail around the layer. And if I come up to here and I choose an eraser, I can erase that layer temporarily. It's a non-permanent erasure, because I can just go back with a pen, and if I draw back, oh hey, the layer's coming back. So layer masks are incredibly useful because they allow you to maintain the forms and bits that you're using without permanently destroying them. So since I want this claw, I'm erasing everything but the claw, but if I wanted bits of that bow, I can definitely come back at any time and get those bow bits. Let's, like right here actually, there's this like thigh piece. I kind of like the shape of it, so yeah, let me grab that. Yep, I definitely like that. And do we have another thigh piece over here? Yeah, okay. That one isn't as good, but so now I have the choice to just completely break it. I can try and blend it back in like that. But that's a very easy thing that you can just do. And I kind of want to have a little bit more of this claw exposed rather than the gauntlet. And what I plan to show you today is just a little bit of how the process usually goes. I probably won't do the entire piece on camera right now, Or maybe I will, and I'll just do like a separate cut for the time lapse, and one. Yeah, you know what? That might be easier. Like I'll just stop recording after the point where I think that the tutorial's finished. Okay. This is my first time actually recording something in several years. Hope you guys don't mind my voice. So now that I've cut and I've layer masked where I want the contours here, I'm actually going to come in and with just black, I'm just going to recreate the edge contours of the piece. Now, this is very important because this black outline is very indicative of the general style as well as making it readable. See? And now when I zoom back out, it looks like if that was how the piece was always meant to be. So let's see. So now with these two, let me actually kind of broaden the shoulder a little. Yep, definitely like that. And actually, let's bring this up here, because I do like the contours of the Black Witch. So let's actually try and get a little bit of that showing through, and maybe turn it into almost like an over, like a collarbone brace. A lot of my process is just experimenting, like seeing what works, what doesn't, and if something starts to work on its own. Sorry, okay. If I suddenly stop, it's because our roommate's cat is being a menace. Okay, so I do actually like that kind of back arch. And there's that cod piece from earlier. Ooh, yes, okay, okay. I do like that. I do like that line. Okay. Let's get a little bit of that. And because I'm using the layer mask, I can just go in and fill in anything that I over erase. Whoops. And again, I am using a tablet, but that literally just makes me faster. Under no circumstances are you required to have a tablet. I have done many full pieces purely in purely with my mouse. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to take this whole chest and I'm just going to move it around. Yes, 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 yes. That is what I wanted. Okay. So now it's looking a little funky, but we can just come back and erase more. Now I feel like this arm needs to be a little higher, but that's fine. The body is now a little long, and that's okay. What I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to right click on this layer and hit rasterize. And rasterize will now allow me to edit this layer directly. So if I do that, I can now draw, whoops. I can now draw on the layer. But what that'll do for us will mean that when I do this and I select everything including like bisecting this, well, you know what, let's actually go right up on you. Yeah, that should be fine. And I start to drag it down. Oh dear. That wasn't supposed to happen, but it was. Okay. Oh well, I can always get the bow back if I want to. So here's where I'm going to merge with layer below. It'll ask me if I want to apply the layer mask. Yes. And the merge will also rasterize that layer. So let's try that again. And I'm going to hope that I can just, you know, maybe I can just do this. Get a little bit of, yeah, there we go. Oh yes, okay. Yes, that feels a lot better. Whoops. Okay. Okay, so it's you that has some of these little bits. Okay. So I'm very much liking this claw here. Let's try and get another limb in. Let's see if the Zahak has anything cool. Ooh, a whip. A whip would be cool. Okay, I think these are both the same piece. Like, yes, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the area that I want to erase. I'm going to do Control-Shift-I to inverse that. And I'm just going to do that. And here's another tip. If you hold Control while you click on the thumbnail, it will automatically select everything that is in that layer. Or in this case, it selects the layer mask. And there we go. These two are now the correct layer below. Yes. And now I can drag this down to the bottom. I can now just move the layer. Is that too big? It might be too big. Either way, it's cool looking. And let's see. Where are our arms? There we are. This might be a little big. I am a fan of the one grotesque hand, one relatively normal hand, so we'll probably 86 this. But I do want this to be a little funky of a mech, so what hand should we give you today? Tokugawa has some good arms. And naturally, this will be far slower if you don't have a good, like, mental library of what all the different pieces are. And that's okay. Everybody starts out somewhere, and there's nothing wrong with it. Maybe not that. Let's go IPSN, because this is a Black Witch kid build. So, it's very fun. And I usually make my tokens after proper Lancer builds, just to... This could be interesting. Yeah, okay. I am here for this. Okay, so now what we have is a very fun thing of, hey TK, how are we going to get rid of this third hand? Very simply, we're going to layer mask, we're going to erase out the hand, trying to leave as much of the pole arm as possible. And the reason why we're doing a layer mask is, again, so I can go in and clean up anything that I overdid, and make sure that this is as clean as possible. And then we can rasterize this, apply, or actually in this case, we want to apply mask to layer. Uh-oh, come on. So I have it set so that every 5 minutes Clip Studio will automatically save my progress. And it's a crash prevention thing. And it's the most helpful thing I've ever seen. Clip Studio Paint goes on sale every couple of months. And while it's on sale, you can get it for $30 as a one-time payment. I highly recommend it. It is comparable to Photoshop and everything you can do with it. And as you'll see soon, it's well worth it. So actually, you know what? I'm going to bring this up to the top, and I am just going to erase the bits that I don't think would be showing. So like this, and then let's see, yeah, just about down in here. And then the shoulder pad would be in the way. Okay. And there you go. Now it is both leaning on the shoulder, and if I wanted to, you can hit this little check mark to move just the layer, but not the layer mask. So, as you can see now, if I wanted to, which I do, I'm going to raise this up a little. Sorry, the roommate's cat was eating our cat's food. Can't have that. Man, that will definitely be a constant thing in my videos if I record more. That looks a little weird, but and that little bit there was just a remnant of the arm, which we don't want any of. Okay, so now we have a hammer, we have a fist, a big meaty claw. Now I just gotta get us a head. Let's see. I think a Hortuga head would be cool with this. Let's see if I can make it fit. missed it. There it is. Oh, I brought it out in red. That's silly of me. Hi. Hi, pumpkin. Hello, everybody. The roommate's cat is here. You got something to say, pumpkin? You've been crunching on things this entire time. You've been crunching on things in the background, and I think the mic's been picking up on it. Oh, don't you do not play with the tablet pen fountain holder thing. You just chill. Relax, child. I know you're bored. I'm currently doing a thing. Let me actually just layer, correction layer, hue saturation, and just lower the saturation. Yeah. I feel like that didn't work. Let's see. So I have this little thing that I made that's just Retrograde's palette. I went and I color grabbed a whole bunch of things, and I use it to make sure that things are in line with the rest of his stuff. So let's go through, shall we? Okay, that looks about right. So in clip, in clip, when you start filling in the bucket, it will actually okay, so these are all that, and then that makes this, I believe. When you start filling in something with the bucket, you can just drag it around, and it will only color in things that were that same, a similar value as the original thing you painted. Whoops. I might just, this might be just one of those times where I, come on. Alright, that should be that, and let's make sure that we have the Tortuga with the correct colored heads this time. There we are. There we are, and that looks correct. Perfect. Oh, it's glowed. Okay. That explains why it wasn't quite fitting with the, not really? Oh, I guess so, it just comes glowed. Weird. Well, and the other reason I have this is so that I can just do this and I know which general value we're looking at. that. And a natural. Let's grab ourselves an eye glow. Does the rally not come with an eye glow? Oh, huh. Okay. Well, I know the Emperor does. There we are. Okay. So let's actually quickly do something else that I'd like to show you guys, which is selection layers. So let's just do you. So now that I've selected all these colors that I wanted to, I can now go up to select, and I can go convert to selection layer, and now it's going to be green. Now in case I ever need these, I can just hit Control, click on the image or the thumbnail, and I have this. But as you can see, it wasn't quite perfect, so I actually don't know why it wasn't perfect. So let me just color this in. There we go. And that should just be all the glows, and now we can go on to very simple coloring. So the thing that I'm going to do is I am actually going to, you know what? Let's grab this, let's grab you, and we are going to copy you, and we are going to paste you. And now, yes, we have just the glow. Ah. That was silly. Let me control click the eye so I can erase it. Okay. So now we have the glow separated from the head. And that's important for me just because I like to do right click on these, create folder and insert layers. And these will be our glow layers. And everything else is just going to be put into another folder. And I'm just going to call that everything. And there we go. We have glow and we have everything. So now comes the fun coloring thing. I'm just going to create a new thing. We're going to call it maps. And here is where we are going to create gradient maps. So I'm going to, I'm going to control click on the folder, which will select every pixel in that folder. And now that when I create a new layer, I'm going to go new correction layer, gradient map. You can see the gradient map already has a full layer mask of everything that was in the everything folder. So I like to start with sepia. Oh, whoops. Very important. The gradient map won't work unless you change the layer effect of the folder to through. That will mean that it defers to whatever layer effect the layers inside the folder want to be. Or in this case, it'll allow the gradient map to actually work. So as you can see, I can change whatever I want here. You can make it rainbow if you want to just blind somebody. I can make it gold. Gold and the cloaking effects were custom made. But I like to start with sepia because it starts in black. Well, almost black. And you have a nice little progression here. So for those that don't know what gradient maps do, they basically take the, I can't show it right now. So imagine that value chart that I had here. No, I can just do this. So here we have our values. Oh no, that's not what I wanted. Okay, we have our values here. And so this gradient map basically takes from darkest, from black to white. It does not matter what colors or what level of saturation you have. It only cares about the value of the value on the spectrum from black to white. And whether it's here or here, depending on where we put colors on this gradient bar in here, like here. So I can take this, I can make this bright as hell as I wanted to. And you'll suddenly see that all the formerly dark things are now this color. And as I move this around, you will see where it starts to change. And this allows us to very easily determine exactly what we want our shades to be without having to go through and manually recolor every single pixel on the model. This allows for very, very easy hue shades, or hue shifts. That's what I was talking about. So I can start with green. I can go into sort of a like a kind of turquoise, like seafoam green, and then we can actually go right up to like this bright blue, and we suddenly have a very high contrast with extremely little effort. And then maybe like a big lavender. And now suddenly we're looking like a GBA sprite. And from there, even if it doesn't immediately look phenomenal, what we can do is we can go play around with the layer effects, and hey, it's more desaturated, but that is that's a bit much. That's just super bright. But hey, we now have a base color for our mech. Now, usually, this character that would be piloting this is actually more purples. Purples, sort of this cool to purple gradient. So let's actually start with that. Let's just kind of go up the gradient and see what happens. Let's make it a bit more saturated. Not actually as, let's get a little bit of you. It's kind of purple to bluish. Yeah, I like that. And so now we've got a very interesting color scheme immediately without any worry whatsoever. And now what I can do is I can control the glows, I can go over to my layer mask and I can delete that. And now we have our glows available to us. And I can select them again, and we can do a quick other map. Another correction layer, another gradient map. Let's just fiddle with this. Funky. Ooh. Yeah, no, that's not what we're looking for. Like, you gotta have some fun with it. So right back to sepia, and this time, instead of the pure black, I'm gonna go, well, let's actually go with, like, a very saturated, like, burnt umber. And let's make these just kind of bright. Let's stick with these warm oranges. You know what? No, we should probably start with like a red. And then let's get a little bit of a yellow in here. Just bright highlighter yellow. And then we can drag these around to get different levels of drop off. Okay. Yeah, that's the bare minimum of how I'll color things. But from here, what we can do is we can take a color layer, and honestly, you can pick whatever you want. I'll probably go a proper purple here. And we can just go around and let's actually do an overlay. Overlay is a bit much because that's still just as bright. Leaving it a color layer will tend to make it we'll use the underlying whatchamacallits values of the piece beneath it, which is pretty good for us. And I'm again just going to control everything and use that as a layer mask to make sure I don't go outside the lines. And now like this, you have a very easy way of just coloring in bits that you don't want to be as saturated. And that's a very easy way of just going through and coloring your token in a way that's satisfying, it looks good, and you don't have to worry too much about it. Now, naturally, you can go in on another layer and bring in more colors, bring in anything you want. But for me personally, I tend to be okay just with this kind of stuff. I'll actually even color in this whole hammer. I'll move this underneath the glow layer, so just because. But you can already see that the design, even though everything was that same color, and that same gradient, rather, you can see that it's suddenly starting to pop out more as I just add little bits and pieces here and there that have this kind of back down to earth coloration. I'm just getting the fingernails. Let's get some bands around the leggies and the toesies. And let's treat this as a separate piece. And let's just get the top of the head. Top of the head seems good. And picking out little detail pieces like these little ports will help it stand out as well. And you can honestly come in with a whole bunch of different things. Like, let me do another one. And let's just go straight in. Let's just make it red. Overlay is just way too much. And it's always worth noting that these different layer effects, the overlay to color to multiply and whatnot, like here, let me bring up to multiply. See, that has a good contrast, but I don't know if that will look good with the rest of this. So, you know, I can just experiment. My brain says that more contrast is probably for the better, so maybe these being dark will be really good. You know, just if I just follow through with it all, and who knows, maybe it'll come out looking really, really good. It's definitely contrasting a lot with the rest of the design, and the best way to go about this, in my opinion, is a lot of rapid development. Trying things out if they don't work, but trying things out in ways that don't actually commit to anything. As long as you aren't committing too much to it, you can always just come back and change it without too much effort expended or lost. And that's another thing that I really like about Clip Studio Paint. Because in the event that I don't like this, one, I can just change the layer type. I can make it, oh geez, that's a bit much. I can do that, and suddenly it's far brighter again. But it's already a pretty bright mech, so I actually feel alright, like with that. I could change that with very little effort expended, and if I wanted to, I can even just control click on the layer to select everything, or just even Control A to select the entire canvas. And I can just hit this paint bucket down here. Oops. Here, I'll just control click there, then hit this bucket, and suddenly change color. I could do that down to here. Oh boy, now it's blue. Or right back to the red. And who knows? It helps to reinforce your own color theory knowledge, and you never know when you might need to use it. So now I'm actually just gonna go and play with this red because I actually like it. I'm just gonna start coloring in the insides as if this was like a crab where you got the exoskeleton. Yeah. Didn't like that because it kind of like bled onto the armor plate. But in here, yeah, we can do that. We can also get in here. A little bit of that. See, I like that being red, but I also like the shine of the blue in there. So maybe I'll just change this to red. How's that look to me? Actually, you know what? Here might be a good place to do a little bit of design work. Just get a little... Yeah. Okay, I like that. And now I could do the same thing, but come in with this, and I'm just going to use the layer mask to erase this because it will be easier on me if I want to undo it. And easy stripes. Man, that makes it really gray. I don't actually know if I like that. Yeah, I think I prefer it without it. But... kind of go a little biohazard sign there. I don't know. You know, this one might actually just be done, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And you know what? I think I'm gonna bring in the real pencil and just do a little dusting. Little light dusting. And that's another thing that I like about the having the tablet with me is I can do a little bit of pressure here and there and get different sprays and different different textures. And with that, I think we're just about done. So, thank you all for joining me. Hope this helped you a little bit, and hope you have a good day. Thank you very much.